have kids, it's Joe and Nick for your weekend vacation. Grab your stool, squat on down for crappy animation. Let the gangsta commentary prop open your eyelids and watch some TV shows that have aged even worse than they did. So fill your bowls, use your spoons, it's Shaturday morning cartoons.
Good morning.
Happy Saturday, everybody! It's Chat Day. What's
And
this
we
for
have,
chatting?
and I'm Nick. That's Joe. That's George. We have Craig Rowin, zooming in from sunny Los Angeles, right?
Good morning. Yes, it's sunny here in LA.
Uh,
Happy
Craig-
Saturday.
Yeah, we've had you on before. I just watched Search Party for the first time and loved it. I watched
Oh, yeah.
all 3 seasons.
Did you notice that I played audio technician in one of the episodes?
I did notice that. I pointed out to my girlfriend. I'm like, I know him. So yes.
And a little behind the scenes trivia. That was actually my wardrobe. I was wearing my own clothes. So
Really?
What?
yes,
That's
I know.
cool.
Yeah, I know.
Did you
So I got to.
How does that work? Did you write that in? You're like, I'll play that guy, or did somebody suggest it?
They,
Play that guy?
the showrunners asked me to do it, but I made sure to write in wearing clothes close to Craig Rowin's actual wardrobe.
Nope, trade secret.
That's a little way that you get yourself into episodes.
Mental note.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Good to know.
Well, what's everybody eating for cereal today?
I'm excited about mine. I'm going to go ahead and brag about mine. So I've been trying to get rid of this peanut butter Captain Crunch that I bought 3 weeks ago, and I've been spicing it up. And I bought this Kashi Go peanut butter crunch that I'm mixing with it. Look at this. This is a goddamn peanut butter cocktail here.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It
So-
seems dangerous, almost dangerous.
Dangerously delicious.
I like
Yeah.
that cocktail. Is
Thank
it
you.
good so far? Did you try it?
So far, so good. It's very sugary. And
Yeah. I went
Yeah.
with standard. I saw this. I went with crunch berries. I haven't had this since I was a kid. I thought, why not? And it's okay. It tastes.
People are gonna think that we're like sponsored by Cap'n Crunch or something though. If we
Well,
have two
this
Cap'n
is my
Crunches,
this is my first Cap'n, but yeah, I guess we haven't spread that out very well.
Hey, you and the Cap'n make it happen.
yeah.
That's true. George
Nick,
dressed as Cap'n Crunch. So
Nick,
yeah.
Nick, will you say fuck Cap'n Crunch just to prove that we're not getting paid by Cap'n Crunch?
Yeah, I mean, we try to make this show family friendly, but sure, why not? Fuck Cap'n Crunch. And George, what do you have?
I have Frosted Flakes.
Okay, not bad. No,
Um,
no milk, obviously.
He's usually a
They're
special K
okay.
guy.
Yeah.
They're not great. Okay.
Yeah.
And Craig, what do you have?
Well, now here's this is the thing. Look at this. What would you think that this is, right?
Fruit Loops.
It looks like Fruit Loops.
Easily.
I'm a type 1 diabetic. I like sugar cereal, haven't had in years until this actually definitely feels like an ad. My wife found this fake kids cereal.
That popped up in my Instagram feed today. It seriously did.
Yeah, it's I think my wife might have found it on Instagram too, but it's 0 grams of sugar. It's grain free, and it almost tastes like you're eating Fruit Loops, except for this isn't a full ad because it gets stuck in your teeth. It's like sort of like a little bit gritty, and it costs literally like $10 a thing. But it's like it almost gives you that like sort of feeling if you're diabetic that you're eating.
Will you just say fuck Magic Spoon just to prove that we're not sponsoring?
Fuck Magic Spoon.
Okay, good.
And fuck all the families who might have been tuning in. Well, you get off on a technicality on the sugar, not having sugar in that.
Let's
But
talk
what are
about
you wearing?
pajamas. Yeah.
We're all in typical pajamas, but what do you have?
So I have like a tier system with my t-shirts, what are night shirts and what are day shirts. This is, my wife was walking in Studio City and she saw Back to the Future, which is one of my favorite movies, paraphernalia in a storefront. And it's Claudia Wells, the woman who played Jennifer in only the first Back to the Future. Elizabeth Shue took over in 2 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
Claudia Wells has a consignment store called Armani Wells in Studio City, and she also sells her own Back to the Future merch. So this is How About a Ride, Mister, which is
No way.
which is a line that's said in the end of Back to the Future which didn't really come off as very sexual, but for some reason in this,
I was gonna say, it's very
extreme.
Mae West, you know. How
It's
about
very-
a ride, Mister?
And if you're interested in finding out more, you can go to ClaudiaWells.com.
So wait,
And-
she's Michael J. Fox's love interest in the first one. Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So my wife called me and was like, it's the store. And I was like, go in and get something. Meryl was, she ended up spending $70 on merch. And I was like, why did you spend so much money? And and I've been there since, and I've met Claudia Wells, and she's very nice. And
You're not going to say fuck Claudia Wells at the
no, not in a
Okay.
million years. Not in a million years. I don't
Well,
want
that was gonna be my next question, but all right.
Well, so that's the tier of pajama T-shirt. That one. Yeah.
But this is like a top tier nightshirt.
Okay. All right. Good.
It looks
That counts
good.
for
It looks
PJs.
comfy. And it's okay. It's comfy cotton there. It's comfy
great.
cotton. Okay. All right. Good.
Great.
Well, let's talk about Ghostbusters. That's another movie that came out around the time of Back to the Future. One of my favorite movies. It's an all-time classic, and we're going to be watching the Ghostbusters cartoon, but not the good one. That was the edict for today's episode, because I mean it's Saturday morning cartoon.
But wait, I feel like this is the original Ghostbusters, though. I feel like the one that we all know and love is the copycat.
Well, let's
We
talk
love the
about
copycat.
that. Let's talk about that. But first, let's take a little commercial interlude. We like to play one up top, and this one has to do with cereal.
There's a cereal in the neighborhood. New Slimer ghosts, fruit flavored oats. Ghostbusters with milk and juice and toast. A complete breakfast with the ghosts.
Again, it's by Purina, I think. There wasn't it? That's one of those cereals that was by Purina at the time.
Purina made a lot of cereals. Yeah.
Did anybody eat Ghostbusters cereal?
Am I wrong in saying that Purina is a dog food company?
Yes.
Or-
No,
No,
look,
you're not wrong.
look, I happen to have Batman Returns cereal right next to me, and look at the
Oh,
logo
yeah.
right there. Yeah, that's Purina. Yeah.
Puppy Chow and tie-in cereals.
They should also have a thing like where some things say like may contain tree nuts, like that this may contain dog food because
Yeah.
it's made
It's
on
on the same conveyor belt.
Look at this, Urkelos. Look who made Urkelos. Purina.
Wow.
God,
Wow.
I feel like my sister and I did have Ghostbusters cereal too. We get any tie-in cereal we would get if it was like a limited time thing. But yeah, so
What's the movie where you're like you're actually eating humans, but you're the food?
Soylent
what is it?
Green.
Soylent Green. I feel like we've been eating Soylent Green. Like this is actually dog food, but we've been tricked to believe that it's children's cereal. This is Soylent Green.
But nobody's injured, nobody's hurt, nobody's complaining.
Everything's
happy.
fine. I'm sure that dog
Yeah.
food is fine to eat, but
Yeah, of course.
Well, and the
Yeah.
dogs are getting Batman Returns cereal, so it's kind of and they don't notice either.
right.
Um, So yeah, you're right though. The Ghostbusters that we're familiar with cartoon-wise is actually not the original Ghostbusters. So the timeline is this: in 1984, Ghostbusters comes out. It's a huge hit movie, charismatic stars. It's funny. In order to get the rights for this, Columbia Pictures had to pay off. They found out, and their lawyers found out, that there was a 1975 short-lived live-action show called Ghostbusters. It starred Larry Storch from F Troop, and
he's a voice for a lot of cartoons,
Right.
Saturday morning cartoons. Like he's a big name in the Saturday morning cartoon game.
yeah. So I'll show a clip quickly from. I'll show the intro to the Ghostbusters 1975 live-action show, which I had never seen before this, but it's worth watching. Yeah, the logo, you feel like maybe the movie kind of ripped that off a little bit with the
Definitely.
logo. Okay, then it gets into the live action part.
We're the Ghostbusters. I'm Spencer. He's Tracy. I'm Kong. We're the Ghostbusters. We're clever, courageous, and strong. Your sleep has been haunted with whispers and rattlings. Your blood has been curdled. We know what to do. Your skin has the creepies. I wonder what's happening. You're safe in our hands. We will take care of you. We're the Ghostbusters. Spirits and demons beware. Ghostbusters, wherever you're hiding out there. We know what you're up to. We're ready for anything. We're bold and we're fearless and never afraid. We're always prepared. We're right there with everything. With us on the job, trouble soon fade. The Ghostbusters do it again.
Yeah, so really long theme song, and it doesn't seem like kind of like a 1940s show. It doesn't seem like something in
It's like
1975.
Abbott and Costello. Like it's like straight up a rip off of that. Yeah.
Yeah,
But I don't believe that the new Ghostbusters never saw that before. Everybody's in show business, and they're like, "Oh, I have this idea for Ghostbusters." The show was on for a year, and it had some names in it. I can't believe that they just separately thought of this idea.
I mean, it's a great name. You just stole it.
I think it's mostly the name though. This had almost nothing to do with what the premise of Ghostbusters was.
What about when Bill Murray, that scene where he and a huge gorilla trade hats and they're running down?
Coincidence.
Like, whoa!
Total coincidence. Yeah. So yeah, apparently this is the story from Filmation side. Filmation made the live action movie, and they're responsible for a lot of these cartoons we've been watching. So the movie's a big hit, and the Ghostbusters movie is a big hit after they paid, I think, $500,000 to Filmation to get the rights to use the title Ghostbusters. And then after Ghostbusters, the movie's a hit, Columbia wants to make a cartoon version, and Filmation's like, no, we're going to beat you to it. I think they offered to work with Columbia to make a cartoon version, and Columbia kind of was like, nah, we want to go with Deke instead. That was the other cartoon company.
But this is after the movie, right? Like they'd already made the movie.
The movie's 84. This is 1986.
Okay.
And Filmation's like, well, fine. If they're going to make their Ghostbusters cartoon, we're going to make our own and get it out first. So they make it based on their 1975 series. They, these are like the sons of the characters from the 75 show, as if any kid watching that would know it.
One season, like 12 episodes.
The original, the live action show. Yeah. This got two seasons and was, had like 65 episodes. So 4 weeks after this debuts, the real Ghostbusters comes out by Deke, and, they couldn't license the likenesses of Bill Murray or anybody, so they made different character models, but this one is more in keeping with what the show is. And as a kid, this all confused the hell out of me.
Same
I don't
here.
know what your impression was.
Well, Craig, you had emailed us. We were emailing, and you said, I remember this Ghostbusters show with like the ape, and I was like, I remember that too, but I remember it more as a weird dream. Because there were two Ghostbusters, and why was there one that had an ape? And I was like, did I dream that?
It was very confusing because I remember being confused by watching the real Ghost. Like, it's so funny that they had to put the word real in it, which is now what like real Donald Trump did on his Twitter. Like, that's like the thing where like we can't get to the actual things.
They were ahead of their time. Yeah.
My understanding had been that Harold Ramis wouldn't allow his likeness, so they brought in an ape instead.
Right.
Yeah, that's exactly how it went.
But I think the weirdest part to me is I don't remember anything about the show except for the theme song, which I remember very well. Then I was telling my wife about this, and who bought me Magic Spoon, which is a great product.
Okay.
And and the same wife, and she remembered it too, the song as well. But I didn't remember that there was a gorilla in it at all. But the song has been stuck in my head for like 30 something years. It's crazy.
I don't remember how the song goes at all, but I did watch the show just because we've said this several times. If there's a cartoon in front of you, you're going to watch it, no matter how joylessly.
I remember our childhood friend, Joe and I's childhood friend, Tom Jacobson, swore that was the better of the cartoons. He always thought
that's why I always watched it, was over at Tom's house. Yeah.
What, George, did you watch this?
Didn't watch either of them.
Okay. Well, Craig?
The thing I liked about the real Ghostbusters, which I don't remember much about either, but I liked the guy who did the voice of Peter Venkman. It was also
Lorenzo
the guy
Music.
Lorenzo Music, who I also looked up, which is a great name. And not to be confused with Lorenzo Muzak.
No, different guy. More boring.
And but he did the voice for Garfield, the cartoon.
Yes.
Which is such a weird thing because then, so he Lorenzo Music did fake Bill Murray, then also did Garfield, and then Bill Murray was tricked into doing the
Yes.
Garfield movie. So it's this sort of like weird, beautiful flat circle as inspired by.
I mean, it proves that there is a God.
yes,
I think that's what it proves. Yeah.
I was an atheist until I realized that just now.
But Lorenzo Music, though, he's one of those voices that when the second you hear it, you recognize it. And you're like, that's
He was in
Garfield.
the Gummy Bears cartoon as well. He played the fat gummy bear in that, and
He always plays the fat ones, right? Because he has the deeper, the baritone
lazy
voice.
yeah. And he was, I think, what was there a show like Rhoda or something where he played the neighbor and you only ever heard him, but he was not an actor. They really liked his voice. He worked in television. And
This guy, he has the greatest career of all time. He just shows up in his sweatpants and he just gets to read the lines in front of him. He doesn't have to memorize them.
Well, the voices in the cartoon are fairly recognizable in the Ghostbusters cartoon, the non-real Ghostbusters. Jake Kong Jr. and Eddie Spencer Jr. Eddie is sort of the scaredy cat guy and he's a Ghostbuster, but he's scared. I guess that's the joke. He's voiced by Peter Cullen, who is Optimus Prime. So, and his voice is really hard to listen to. He's kind of like, imagine Optimus Prime doing a kind of a real high pitched, screechy voice. It sounds like it hurts to do it.
Sounds beautiful.
Yeah. And Tracy the gorilla is voiced in this one by Louis Scheimer, who's the co-founder of Filmation and the producer of the live action series. So I guess he just wanted to be.
So he wanted a double dip. He wanted those voice acting.
Exactly.
No, Scheimer would hire a lot of his kids to do it. He'd hire family members to do it. He did that for the Brady kids too. Actually, he would hire when Greg. I'm going deep into the weeds here, but when Greg and Marcia wouldn't sign on for season 2 of the Brady Kids, he brought on his kids to do the voices of Greg and Marcia. So,
yeah, there's some old standards in here. There's a talking car in here, which is kind of like the Ecto One. It's like, but this is more of like a Chitty Chitty Bang Bang Jalopy. So there's even more similarities. Where as a kid, you're like, which one is this somehow based on Ghostbusters, but in a weird alternate universe way? And actually making things more confusing, in the first episode of the real Ghostbusters, as a dig on the Filmation version, which they knew was being developed concurrently, they had the plot of that one was about a fake Ghostbuster company that was coming in and trying to steal the thunder of the real Ghostbusters.
Shots fired.
Shots fired.
That's why I didn't watch. I didn't want to get involved in the controversy.
Yeah, it was like.
Well, I remember as a kid seeing that and being like, "This, like, I get what's going on. I see these two companies. I understand the inner workings of animation studios, and I really respected that they made the first episode."
Well, but now that I'm older and I'm learning the story, I'm like, the real Ghostbusters, I think, are the bad guys this whole time, because the real Ghostbusters are the first ones. Filmation had the first Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
so they paid $500,000 for the name.
Yeah, and they had to give 1% of the profits, I think. So
that's huge. That's so much money. They really love the name.
I guess so. Once Dan Aykroyd had it in his head, they couldn't pry it out of him. So they made Columbia go get the.
Well, I'm sure it was a good bet, because they probably made shitloads of money off of it. I mean, I bought the T-shirt.
Yeah, so let's watch an episode. This is from the first season, 1986. It's called Roller Ghoster, and we'll see how this one holds up. I watched both the real Ghostbusters and this in preparing with it. I've got my opinion. We'll see what you think.
I'm excited because Filmation is considered one of the worst of the Saturday morning cartoons.
They recycled a lot of their animation. Apparently, a lot of the animations here were recycled from a cartoon they did called Groovy Ghoulies. So here we go.
Let's go,
It's a cool logo. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
Craig, bringing back memories here.
It's also weird that the live action one was called the Ghost Space Busters.
Yeah.
Now they just were like, fuck it, we're just
It's one word.
100% trying to trick the kids.
Fuck it, let's not even hyphenate it.
Yeah. And also the guy who's kind of scared and fatter kind of looked like Bill Murray a little bit too. So that was confusing. Ghost Buggy. primeval.
It's kind of a cool villain, though.
Yeah. There's recurring villains that come up.
Well, they got C-3PO, huh?
Sort of.
You wrote a book. I want to read this book.
You can just imagine being a kid being like, there's a Ghostbusters cartoon, turning it on and being like, why is there gorilla?
Exactly.
Well,
That
that was me.
One has Slimer and one has Shimer.
yeah, you're right. Slimer and Shimer. Their version of Slimer is called like Rat. You'll see him. Nothing weird about this at all.
I don't mind the soundtrack.
Never forget.
And now remember, Corky.
Wow,
you
they're
promised
literally
your
under the World
Jessica
Trade
you'd
Center?
behave
Yeah.
this time.
Crazy.
I will. Oh, wow. What's that, Tracy?
I want that shirt.
I just want to look at it.
Corky, you promised you'd behave.
I am
Optimus
behaving,
Prime.
Eddie.
So quirky.
Let's look at Scalavision, Corky.
Directed very weirdly.
Yeah.
Maybe this'll keep you out of
The
mischief.
music's too loud and
Oh, no! Hey, Trace, give me a hand, will you? Scalavision's goofing up.
Hey, easy there.
All right. Oh, now where's Corky? Corky!
He was outside painting mustaches on our statues.
We have a rule around here. If you mess it up, you dress it up.
He's right. Now
What?
go clean it off.
It's Belfry.
Jake.
What's the latest in amusement parks? Well,
Is his name
Jessica Ray
Corky
has a
or
live
Gorky?
Corky.
report for you.
I think one
Jessica?
time he said
Hey,
Gorky.
guys, Jessica's on the tube.
Thanks, Bud. It's called Ghost Park, with plenty of rides and games and ghosts.
Doesn't
Ghosts
she
are
look like
everywhere,
April? Isn't she
selling
basically
tickets,
April?
making
Yeah.
burgers.
But this is before.
I know. I feel like April's very influenced by.
Boss, what made you mad
He's actually
this
scary.
time?
That so-called Ghost Park. How dare they make fun of ghosts? Well, some
kinda
of
like that.
They'll wish they never heard of ghosts when I'm finished.
He doesn't want them to make fun of
What you gonna
ghosts.
do, you rottenness?
Relatable.
Yeah.
I'll show them what a real ghost park is like. Appalachia, I've got
Do
a
they have
job
toys of
for
these?
you.
Yeah. We'll show him later.
Appalachia, where are you?
And so, it's fun for all at the new
I remember
Make-Believe
Wait, whoa. Why was
Hit pause. Hit pause.
the ghost's mouth was a butthole right there? Did you see?
Yeah,
that?
yeah, I noticed that too. It really, it was like, yeah,
It like before it was like it was a mouth, and now just there for some reason it transformed into a butthole.
I
yeah.
want a
Yeah.
T-shirt of that.
Yeah. What does that mean?
Either that or just ate a lemon or like a ghost lemon, maybe.
No, it's a butthole. Nick.
Okay, it's a butthole. Yep.
And so, it's fun for all at the new Make-Believe Ghost Park. Bud,
Thanks, Jessica. In the mayor's office today.
Oh, that sounds like a neat place.
It sure does. Yeah, if you clean
Why
up
aren't
the
they catching those
statues,
ghosts,
Corky,
though?
real good, I'll take you to Ghost
I
Park.
don't know. Never really
You
explained.
will? Oh, boy. Can I go too, Eddie? Huh? Huh?
Why not, Belfry? We'll all go.
Oh, wow. Come on, Corky. I'll help you clean up.
I have a question. Does the ape? Does he always have a camera around his?
Yeah,
Oh, because
Camera-
he's
and
part of
kind-
the investigation team, and he's
yeah.
going
He
out
he
to-
takes pictures. He's got a cap. But then the other guys are just in their street clothes, but they change into kind of like how Filmation did He-Man, and they always had the stock animation of "By the power of Grayskull." So at least once per episode, they're gonna just run. It saves on animation, right? There's
Yeah.
a scene where they always change into their Ghostbusting outfits. They could just always be wearing them, but
It,
they
pro-
just
it probably saved him like 3 weeks of
Yeah.
production work.
Yeah.
Why didn't they give photography to a human? Because I feel like a human would know it better than a
take
ape
it up
would.
with Louis Scheimer. Take
Okay.
it up with him.
I'm calling him now.
Oh, now where did I put that amulet? Didn't you hear the boss calling you?
I don't care. Who called me? I've got the hiccups.
Mae West?
Yep.
I'm not going anywhere until I find my amulet.
Where's Apparitia?
Oh, on second thought, maybe I'd better get up there fast.
I think she lives in the pipe organ or something.
Coming! Your madness!
Didn't Bratarat tell you I wanted you?
Ratarat.
Yes,
That's that guy.
I did.
You didn't!
I did too. And if you want to get rid of the hiccups, drink water.
No. Hold your breath and count to 10.
I've tried them all. The only thing that works is my amulet.
Like the one around your neck?
No, wonder I couldn't find it.
Enough about hiccups! I have an important job for you. I want you to haunt a new amusement park.
Enough about hiccups is a great line.
I love that line.
Wait. Was it? Wait. Was that a legitimate laugh on there?
Yeah.
What was the joke?
Enough about hiccups.
Just like the idea of them talking about hiccups. Already in my head, I was like, they're talking about hiccups for a significant amount of time in this show.
It's the whole B plot. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when he said enough about hiccups, that just
Me
tickled
too. Yeah.
I love it when there are genuinely funny moments in some
I
of these
genuinely
cartoons.
laughed at that. I also laughed at him where he's like, "That'll teach them to make fun of ghosts." Like, I like that his feelings were hurt about a theme park that was trading.
Well, I also like that he even has a take on like what would help hiccups is drinking water, because he seems to have a robot jaw. Like, wouldn't that like short circuit him? I don't know. But
No, that's a good
it's probably
point.
something he read. Yeah.
Honey, you're joking.
True.
Don't honey me! I never
The
joke!
bookworm.
When I finish Ghost Park, will go down in history. I thought the amulet cured your hiccups.
Oh, I forgot to rub it. Now I can ask.
Yeah.
Why do you want me
That
to haunt
probably
a
awakened
ghost
some
park?
teenage boys, I would think.
Because they're making fun of ghosts. And I want you to scare them out of their wits. And to make sure you do the job right, I'm sending Bratarat to go with you.
Oh, thank you, your badness. Oh, thank you. We do work well together.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do.
I'm losing my patience with you two. Now get out of here.
I forgot that villains could be funny. Like, Skeletor was a funny villain.
Skeletor is hilarious. It's like a Phantom of the Opera kind of a thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we don't.
We do.
they used that shot before.
They're not moving very much.
That design is pretty badass, though.
I like it. I also would go to Ghost Park. It looks pretty cool.
You know what? Can I point out something?
Yeah.
I feel like hold on, hit pause. I feel like their sound effects are different than most sound effects that we hear on this show.
They're definitely different than Hanna-Barbera.
Definitely. I feel like they're all these different production companies, that they all have their own stock of sound effects.
Yes, you're right.
That's what I'm finding in
These
just
are
watching.
I don't think these ones are as over the top as like Hanna-Barbera or even some of the other ones we watched from Ruby Spears. They go a little easier on them.
Yeah, like Ruby Spears, I feel like they have the biggest ones of like the
Yeah.
Who did the Punky Brewster one? Because that one was out
Ruby
of control.
Spears.
Yeah, that was pretty nuts.
And by the way, Spears just died, I think today or yesterday.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sorry, Craig. Are you okay to go on or?
I'm gonna need half a second.
He was 107.
Ready.
So
wow, good for him.
Gosh, let's go on the roller coaster again. Come on, Eddie, one more time.
Yeah, I'm too pooped. There's Jake over there. Ask him to take you.
Wonder what the ghost bummers are doing here.
That's very disturbing on the right.
Yeah, it is. And they don't have to animate mouths here. So.
Plans?
Right.
Honey, I'm in
Move the
charge
eyes
of
a
this
little
job.
bit.
Let's have have some fun.
Did you say something?
Me? No.
Oh, Eddie!
Did you say a whole conversation between two different voices?
No.
Did you hear that?
It must be the wind. You better take it easy, Eddie. I'll find Jake and be with him.
And don't talk to any strangers!
It hurts to listen to.
I'm gonna warm things up for him. Let's heat up that bench.
Boy, it's getting hot.
And it's gonna get hotter. Warm regards from Prime Evil.
Come back here, you cowards!
Who are you talking to, mister?
Did you see them? Apparition Brown Rat just flew away! This is terrible. There are real ghosts here.
Look at his.
Wait, did he just tell us? Did he just tell a total stranger that Apparition and Braddock were
Yes,
just
he
there?
did.
Not only a total stranger toddler.
Yeah, and his groin is really disturbing too.
Yeah.
There's just.
Are they playing with the idea that he's a drunk because they keep on like the kid Gorky or Corky was like take it easy and like he's talking to people that aren't there like he's dressed like a drunk in the 80s would.
Yeah, or like a vaudevillian drunk, like a Red Skelton drunk.
Yes, and also his color scheme is just it's too much. It's like
he's
yellow
supposed to be
pants
wacky and
Is he?
that's
Okay.
his thing, but yeah, a scaredy
Okay.
cat weirdo. So
Colorful
But he's not,
equals wacky.
it's not funny though. Like he hasn't
No.
said anything funny. It's
No.
just he the joke is that he hears things that are there.
Yep, yeah, nor will he. That's
And,
spoiler.
and every line that he recites just seems very strained. Like I feel like it's
Yeah.
going to hurt your throat to say
That-
one of his lines.
Exactly, it hurts to listen to too.
And the expressions aren't matching what he's saying either. He doesn't look upset here at all. But he's supposed to be upset here, right?
I think so. Yeah.
That's so weird.
Tracy! Jake, where
What
are
game
you?
is this?
Uh-oh. I wonder what Corky did this time. Over
And-
here, Eddie!
Meanwhile, you're like, when's Slammer showing up? Eddie?
I just saw
Bankman?
Saw who, Eddie? What's wrong?
I just saw Apparition and Braddock.
What? You sure?
Yes. Hey, where's Corky? He said he'd be with you.
I thought he was with you. Where did you see him last?
Same place I saw Apparition Braddock.
Uh-oh. Let's go.
Corky gets murdered here.
This is the perfect place to start my heart.
This is pretty terrible.
Yeah, watch where you're going. You stepped on my foot.
Go away.
I was here first.
She wasn't moving.
No.
Oh, why, you're the little boy who was with one of the Ghostbusters.
You know them?
Oh, we're old friends. How would you like to take a ride with me, hmm?
Well, Eddie said not to talk to... well, but...
This music is like
Yeah.
And it's not quiet either. It's like right there.
Pardon
Yeah,
me, sir.
it's loud
but
in
we're
the
looking for a
mix.
little boy.
Hey, aren't you the Ghostbusters?
Yes, but...
I seen you on the TV. What an honor. Name's Parker. I own this amusement park. What an honor.
Pleased to meet you, sir, but we're looking for a little boy.
He was wearing a red shirt and he...
Did he have a toy trumpet?
That's Corky.
Yep, I seen him walking into the roller coaster tunnel with a strange-looking lady. Yep, really strange.
Apparition, she's got Corky.
Didn't need that scene at all.
Yeah.
So, is this jogging memories, or is it more painful, less painful than anybody thought?
I don't remember the animation being this bad. Like the animation is so like, you know what I mean? Like it's not fluid. It's not like, yeah. And just like the pacing of everything and just the soundtrack, it's worse than I remembered it. I knew it was even when I was a kid, I wasn't much of a critic. Like I would watch anything, but even back then, I knew that this was pretty bad. And now it's confirmed.
Yeah, it's definitely, there's an uneasiness watching it. Like it's just very like just there's it's also like, what part of this would a kid be interested in? Like and all the styles are still like, there's still this 1940s thing going on a little bit, and it just doesn't make any sense. And there's no, even the original one was, there was supposed to be slapstick. This doesn't have anything nearing funny.
No, not at all. And like I have a niece and nephew, and I always want to do this experiment whenever I don't see them that often. If I saw them every day, I would be like, hey, let's watch this Ghostbusters, this Filmation Ghostbusters episode. I would love to know it, because they're the demographic. I would love to know what they actually think about it, and they would say it would suck.
I gotta say, I watched the real Ghostbusters, just one episode of the real Ghostbusters, the first one, today to prepare for this, and that sucks too. I think you're right though. Craig, that Lorenzo Music, the voice of Bill Murray's character, is the difference. He was funny, and then Slimer, I guess, was, if you're a kid, people liked Slimer a lot. The Brat-a-Rat just didn't do it.
Also like there's some things that are just fun there, and there's the leftoverness from the movie. But here it's like, are you supposed to relate to the kid? He like has a plastic trumpet. Is that something that like kids want to do? Like, what is that?
Relate to the park owner, I think.
Yeah, the park owner in a coffin.
Right. Well, George, you curated some commercials for this episode. What do you have?
Yes, well, it's a competition between the real Ghostbusters and Filmation's Ghostbusters for product placement and endorsements and toys.
Saturday morning cartoons will be right back.
Ghostbusters! Each sold separately.
Break out the new equipment! Ghost trap set. Ecto goggles down. It's Marshmallow Man. Ecto puffer ready. Neutrino blaster charged. Roast him! Got him! We ain't scared enough.
It's the Ghost Trap from the real Ghostbusters. New from Kenner.
Pretty cool toys.
Hey kids, it's time to play Bust the Baddies and win the goodies. Here comes the Grinch Daddy. It's Rat.
After you've busted all 5 baddies, send your list to this address. That's Ghostbusters, Box 1100, New York, New York, 10150. You could win a computer from Computerland, or a Ghost Command Funhouse, or Ghost Buggy from Shopper Toys.
Bust the baddies and win the goodies. Keep watching Channel 11.
Contest ends October 31st.
Attention all Ghostbusters. Be on the lookout for haunted humans. Wanted, Granny Gross. She's no sweet old lady.
These are great.
Wanted, Tombstone Tackle. He's no hero. Wanted, Ex-Cop. He's not on your side. To catch these ghosts, you need the real Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
There's Peter, Egon,
I remember this.
Ray. Each sold separately. They're running out fast.
I had that guy.
You did?
Yes.
Ghostbusters, let's go!
Ghostbuster toys, so much fun it's spooky. Play Ghostbusters.
Let's go!
With your own play figures.
Come on there, Ghost to Bust.
Jake has a magic backpack and ghost gun. Primeval has a real cape.
Look out, humans!
What is a magic backpack?
Pull yourself together, you rusty wreck!
That's spooky!
Ghostbuster figures from Shopper. So much fun it's spooky.
When you're coming first, with a real big thirst, who you gonna call? Come and taste this real, supernatural deal. Oh, who you gonna call?
New 3-liter Coke, the Thirst Buster, the biggest bottle of Coke around. Hey, you don't want to run out of Coca-Cola. Get Thirst Buster and save.
I ain't afraid of no thirst. Who you gonna call?
Thirst Buster!
Oh, God.
Whoa.
Ray Parker Jr. just did anything, huh?
I would like to point out that if you look at the U.S. diabetes, somewhere around 85, which was when this 3-liter Coke appeared. You see that goes from linear to quadratic, the growth. So
it's exponential at that point, right?
Yeah.
See, that's why everybody should have their magic spoon.
Right.
Spoon. Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, go to ClaudiaWells.com and get your magic spoon.
Now back to Saturday morning cartoons.
here's the thing. I'm going to go ahead and say I feel bad for Filmation's version because they were the original Ghostbusters. They were the real Ghostbusters. The other Ghostbusters just did it way better, 10 times better. They did the toys better. They did the cartoon better. They
were sort of the little guy, the underdog here, because Filmation's nowhere near what Columbia Pictures. They don't have the resources.
No, but they came up with the idea first, right?
Right.
And it's a brilliant idea to have somebody, a team of people and apes who come in and clear out ghosts.
Yeah, well, watch the original series. You tell me if that's a brilliant idea or
not. So I put together a little something called Name the Worst Version. So this is ostensibly the Filmation version is the worst version of the Ghostbusters. And it definitely is, even though they were the original one. But I'm going to show you some better versions of things, and then you have to guess what the worst version is, okay?
Got it.
Make sense? All right.
Yep.
Okay, take a look at the first one. Smurfs. What's the worst version of the Smurfs?
Oh, I remember this. It was the underwater, it was like the Gorkles or something.
Snorks?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's it. Yeah.
Yes, it was the Gorkles. And Hanna-Barbera, I feel like Hanna-Barbera always had the worst versions of a lot of these things. The Flintstones, what was the worst version of that?
The Flantstones.
Oh, it's actually the Jetsons.
Also the Gorkles.
Wait, but they did a crossover movie with the.
It was the same company. They ripped themselves off. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But they're just like, oh, let's have a futuristic version, exactly the same. But what's the worst version of the Jetsons? Take a look at this. Partridge Family 2200.
Oh wow!
That
I didn't know
exists.
that. We gotta watch that.
That's another Hanna-Barbera. All right. What's the worst version of Happy Feet? This is real too. This isn't a bit. I didn't hop on Photoshop. This is for real. The worst version is Tappy Toes.
She's just winging it.
Wow. That's aren't those shoes called some wingtips? So that's actually
so he's winging it. Okay. Kids will get
this
that.
came first in 1975.
Kids will get that joke too. Yeah. All right, here's the last one. The Little Mermaid, we all know and love. Mm-hmm. And what would you guess is the worst version of that?
The Big Mermaid.
The Little Gorkles.
Bad Lieutenant.
No, it's the Little Mermaid.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah, it's the
just
same
the
exact
version.
They just like fuck it. Let's just call it the Little Mermaid. Yeah,
that just reminds me of. I was just telling someone this is slightly different, but I bought a VHS in the '90s because I was such a big Jim Carrey fan called Rubber Face, and it had him on the cover doing a funny
I remember that because I loved him so much too. Yeah.
So I bought this VHS of Jim Carrey called Rubber Face, and it turned out it was an after-school special from Canada from the 80s when he was a teenager, and it was actually called Introducing Janet. And it was about an overweight girl who had self-esteem problems, and Jim Carrey was just her friend. That was in 5 minutes of it.
And they were like, we have this footage. We might as well try to market it because he's huge right now.
And I felt
and it worked. They probably made a shitload of money off of it too.
The Little Mermaid thing, because that's based on a Hans Christian Andersen story called The Little Mermaid, so they could probably call it that. And they just exploit any loophole. I think The Lion King too is based on a story or a book, so they could just make it.
Oh, so it's public domain. So
yeah,
like, we
basically.
Can use the name.
Yeah,
okay.
And they're both
Don't we
based
have a
on
Ratatouille version.
Yeah.
Up there too?
Yes, somewhere? You can look it up during the next section.
Hold on, I think we have one right here. Well, here's the Jungle Book. Is this the actual Jungle Book?
No. Yeah, but you got to find the Ratatouille one. We should show that. I'll stop the.
Oh, I got it right here.
Got
it's
it?
right
Okay.
here. It's right here.
You won't believe this one, Craig.
Yeah, look at this. Ratatouille. Yeah.
Wait. It's your oh there. Oh yeah, Reddit. Well, that have you seen Scott Gardner's? It's not called the Muppet Babies. It's like a play on the Muppet Babies, and it's making fun of these budget DVDs, and it's
Really?
genius.
Oh man.
I Google Scott Gardner Muppet Babies.
Okay.
And you'll find it.
And there was a Looney Tunes. Baby Looney Tunes cartoon that came out after Muppet Babies too. So everybody ripped everyone off. But let's watch the second half of
I can't wait.
the roller coaster.
Wait. Can you recap what's happened? Because I've been loosely paying attention.
The thing is called Tiny Fuppets. I just remembered it. So that's if you're a fan of B versions of things, it's so.
All right, I'm looking it up. I would recap it, but I feel like then that does all the work for you. So I think it's just better to just come in and let your brain do the recapping for you.
To put on our ghost hunting clothes.
Let's go, Ghostbusters!
Stock animation.
Let's go. I remember that thing.
Yep.
That white. I remember this.
They get changed.
Yes. That's why it was really popular in the 80s to touch your teeth and then change your clothes.
Ghostbusting.
That's
Take a
why.
ride on the roller coaster. Maybe you'll spot Corky. Now go and don't stop for anything.
Well, you told them not to stop for anything.
We'll fix the door later. Now let's go find Corky.
Really invested in
Jake!
Corky.
This music.
Over here!
Corky's missing.
Mr. Parker told me. Do you have any idea where he would be?
They were last seen inside the roller coaster.
Who's they?
Apparition Corky.
I think the writers were like, let's try to fit in the word roller coaster as many
Exactly.
times as
They
possible.
say it a million times.
Yeah, we need to move some roller coasters.
They were so impressed with that pun they came up with that.
Get in there. Mr. Parker, is there a back entrance to the roller coaster?
That's the only way in.
Whoa, Mr. Parker, is that a play on Ray Parker Jr.?
Yes.
That's it's shots fired.
Yeah, exactly. This is like East Coast, West Coast rap battle.
Thanks a lot.
You better be careful. There's a lot of junk and stuff around, and it's pretty dark in there.
Did he
line
say
reading was
dark?
Yes, he did. And you're too old to be afraid of the dark.
Yeah, I don't think you're ever too old to be afraid of the dark.
Talk normal.
Here, come
I wouldn't mind if that guy died. If that character
Exactly.
if he just died. It would be
He's an
fun.
unlikable
Kid would.
scaredy cat who's hard to listen to.
If they would have killed him off in this episode, no kid would have cared.
No.
Hiccups again.
This is no fun, lady. Take me back to the
A
Ghostbusters.
sexy pose, a sexy drawing.
What's that?
This gets rid of my hiccups.
Really?
Oh,
Sounds
boy.
like magic. Can I see it up close?
It's not a toy.
Can I see it up
Now it
close?
is.
Give that back to me. Come back here.
Come out of there.
Isn't he a ghost?
This kid is strong.
Not that kind of ghost.
Oh, maybe he's just a creature.
And you aren't strong enough to open that door.
Okay, apparition. Let's see how strong you are.
Step aside, Weasel. I'll open that door with one finger. After him, you fool!
This is what I feel like is the movie Ghoulies, like that walking animation.
Mr. Parker sure wasn't kidding when he said it was dark in here.
He's
The
fully
roller
lit.
coaster track is just ahead.
Everyone's lit very nicely.
I like to think that you were like
Maybe
excited
Tracy's
to call
already
Meryl
found
in
Corky.
maybe during
Let's
this,
hope
and then
so.
you're like, nah.
Uh-oh. Let go! Jake! Jake!
Eddie! Eddie!
What was that reaction?
Wait a minute. Jake, Eddie, look.
That's Corky's! Maybe he's around
See,
here
you said
somewhere.
Gorky.
You're right. He says Gorky. I think maybe it is Gorky.
They've said Corky 75% of the time, and then one in every four they say
Craig,
Gorky.
that is a more interesting mystery than what the actual mystery of this episode is.
Like, I'm not crazy, right? He said Gorky.
Yeah, he did.
No, we come across that all the time. Brady Kids, they had so many like different inconsistencies throughout the entire cartoon.
Gorky's! That's Gorky's! Maybe he's around here somewhere.
Let's split up. I'll go this way.
They find his mangled corpse.
You can't catch me! Uh-oh! Now be a good little boy and give that back to me. Give that to me. Corky! Where are you?
I think Ratarat moves by farting kind of out of his...
Little pink farts come out.
I told you that kid looked like trouble. He came this way. There he is.
That's the
dangerous.
That belongs to me. Well,
He doesn't need to say anything to that.
Nope.
find the kid.
No response.
But I think it's
Turned around and ran away.
Like, we don't want to animate a mouth movement here. Can you just run?
You sneaked up on me.
Shoot him. Shoot him. Yeah.
That's exactly what I planned to do. To give you a zap nap. Don't.
Kind of like in Pac-Man, they just turn into eyes and they come back to life.
That kid would be trouble. How will I ever explain to Prime Evil? Oh, there you are. I yelled for Jake and Tracy. Maybe they're...
She's looking at
Eddie!
Stand behind me, Jessica. I've got apparition covered.
That little toy doesn't stand a chance against me and my magic amulet.
Don't worry, Jessica. I can handle this.
My way is safer.
This amulet's no good anymore.
Now's my chance.
It won't be that easy. Chump.
The amulet turned her into an octopus creature.
What a rotten time for rotten luck.
Now it's my turn.
Oh, hi, apparition. Bye, apparition.
Look at that phony octopus!
Ooh, phony? Well, I'll show you.
Too much.
Hiccups!
If you're a fan of the movie, aren't you just like...
Jake, help!
I keep saying it, but...
Lost. It's not right.
Where's Rick
He's
Moranis?
to blame for
Yeah.
this.
Where's Janine?
Exactly.
What can I do for you,
like this
young'un?
guy.
I love the ride, especially the octopus. Just great.
Why, thank you. Octopus?
Octopus?
An octopus.
My favorite character. Number one character in the entire
Corky,
thing.
quick!
I don't think the park operator got his own actor.
I would buy that toy, the park operator.
Tracy, watch out! All right, right between the eyes. Who are you? Big? Hey! Gee, Tracy, you're super.
Everything's annoying to listen to. Every voice, a hiccuping
To
character.
those Ghostbusters if it's
The
the
sound
last
effects.
thing I do.
I don't think so, Apparitia.
So dangerous. They're all just standing on the roller coaster.
You're right.
Look at that roller.
You are, Apparitia.
For
Your
a safety
magic
freak
seems to
like me, this is a
backfire.
nightmare.
What are you talking about?
Take a look at yourself.
My nose! Oh, I made a mistake in the spell.
Yep, I guess you could say you blew your nose.
Just keep laughing, funny boy. You won't laugh so loud when I'm done with you.
Oh, I think I will. Have some pepper.
No!
He happened to have some pepper on him.
Why doesn't he use his gun?
Exactly.
His magic backpack.
Excuse me.
What?
Just want to put a lid on this. Well, Apparitia, looks like I've got you bottled up now.
I'll get you for this, Ghostbuster! Oh, but at least you cured my hiccups.
Oh.
When I grow up, I want to be a Ghostbuster. After tonight, you're an honorary member. Gosh, thanks.
I feel like I had one of
I'm
those.
sorry I was such a pain in the neck
really
before.
did.
But from now on, I'm gonna be good. It's more fun. See, Corky, that's what we've been telling you all
Corky.
along. Corky! Coming at yes!
There's always a lesson at the end, like a lot of cartoons were required to. So here's the lesson.
Okay.
In today's story, Corky made a serious mistake.
He went off with a stranger.
Corky was very lucky that the Ghostbusters were around to rescue him.
But sometimes things don't work out so well.
I'm sure your parents and teachers have told you not to accept anything from strangers.
And definitely not to go anywhere with strangers.
Be sure not to make the same mistake that Corky did. When you play it smart and don't go with strangers.
So their way of saying to avoid getting molested is sometimes things don't work out so well with strangers.
Accurate.
They really danced around that.
You might be traumatized for life.
Yeah. Good theme song though.
The music is great, and
Probably
these
the best
visuals
part.
are cool.
Yeah.
Some cool art to it. I'll give it that.
The
Yeah.
character models were cool sometimes, and
But
yeah.
Craig, you're a writer, and wouldn't it have been fun to write on these Saturday morning cartoons where there were very little stakes and they just needed a quick turnaround because they needed to crank out 25 episodes a season.
That's where I'm just surprised. Like they didn't work in any more joke. Like the blew your nose thing was like the only outright attempt at a joke, and it was like purposefully shitty. Like just write a couple joke. But the fact that they did 65 episodes in like a year, I mean, they must have just been like doing cocaine and churning these out. Like,
Definitely. And I feel like it was one person who wrote it, and maybe like the executive producer saw it and made some tweaks to it. There weren't other people looking at these scripts. It was just one person wrote it and then one person checked it over.
My favorite parts are just when one character has a line and the next person just doesn't respond to it.
They just run away.
They just run away.
It'd be so much easier.
And maybe the scripts have been copied so many times, the C in Corky ended up looking like a G to some people, and so
I thought he was like Corky or Gorky, then should have just been like, and the name is Corky. Like there was no payoff. So we don't know if that was purposeful or just a complete mistake.
Yeah.
If they had done that, we would have been like, holy shit, they were genius, because we were all wondering if they had done that. Yeah.
They baited us into it that whole time. Yeah.
Yeah.
George, do you have a lesson to take away from the Ghostbusters?
Well, I like their lesson, but I think there's a lesson for us.
What?
Each of us is constantly revisiting the past. You might say we're haunted by our personal histories. You might even think of these traumatic events as ghosts, and you might feel it's necessary to confront or bust these ghosts to move forward. But in reality, we are the living embodiments of our past, and so it follows that we today are actually our ghosts of tomorrow. So before you bust that ghost, remember, you're really busting yourself. So think twice before busting makes you feel bad. And that's why I always say, the more you battle is twice the knowing.
Bravo. That is a great message. And we're legally required to do that, Craig, too. It's just part of our internet deal. So
we get government money for it.
It's poignant like that. Yeah. It's beautiful in a way.
Yeah. I thought you'd be moved. We knew you'd be moved by that. Yeah.
And Craig, what's going on with you? Of course, your magnum opus is The Girls Are Calling You Who. Everyone should check that out on YouTube.
Woo-hoo. I'm sorry.
Woo-hoo. I'm sorry. What did I say? The Girls Are Calling
You Who.
And that's coming up. That season is coming up right now. Like that's your bread and butter, right? Like
The Girls Are Calling Woohoo is sort of forever in existence. If you go to my website, craigrowin.com, ROWIN, you can see. I won't even try to explain what it is or what it was. But I'll also throw out there that Lorraine Bracco has been in the news recently, and because she has a show on HGTV. And 7 years ago, I created something called the Melfi selfie. Have I told you guys about this? Or...
I think I was reading about it.
I don't know about this.
So I was working on the show called At Midnight at the time, and they wanted us to do boomerang ideas, which is we throw it out to the audience, they send them right back. So I thought that was a little lame. So I pitched the idea of a Melfi selfie where you take a selfie with Dr. Melfi from The Sopranos. They immediately shot it down and said, that's not funny. But I did it anyway on my own. And we bullied Lorraine Bracco into doing her own Melfi selfie. And then, which I called a double-decker Melfi selfie. And then my mom called me one day and was like, I was just watching Entertainment Tonight, and Lorraine Bracco was interviewed, and they talked about the Melfi selfie. So, and she did it on Entertainment Tonight. So if you also are a Lorraine Bracco fan, you can go to my website, and there's the Melfi selfie story, where you can see some of the best Melfi selfies. You can see the double-decker Melfi selfie. So this is the type of passion projects that
you're doing God's work. You're doing God's work is what you're doing. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us on Saturday Morning Cartoons for a really forgettable episode of a really forgettable cartoon. That's what we're doing. That's our job. We don't want to do it, but we got to do it. So
our hands are tied. Yep.
And I think the real Ghostbusters are somewhere in here.
Yeah.
That's my take.
And the real Gorky is somewhere inside Corky.
Somewhere in there.
Or the other way around. We'll never know.
Absolutely.
All right. Happy Saturday morning, everybody.
Happy Saturday.